She did a great job. All right, moving on over now to the Meghan and Harry interview with Oprah. So, if you missed it last night, Oprah did an interview, and Oprah only comes out of retirement for interviews that are huge. She only comes out for very special things. And last night she interviewed Princess Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Ooh, it was crazy. It was crazy what the royal family put those people through. This is the first time they've talked since they really left the royal family, quote unquote, left. They were kicked out, by the way. If you watch it, you'll learn all about that. But I kind of want to just cover some of the highlights. This is the stuff that people are really talking about. The big thing that the headlines are really hitting was that Meghan Markle talked about how she was suicidal in the royal family. So basically the way it worked is she met Harry, they started dating, the family hated her. They wanted nothing to do with her because, and we'll get into it a little bit later, they're a little bit racist. And they were worried that Harry was going to marry her, and then he did, and they were not happy about it. So basically, the family works in a way where there's like the family members, like the family, like your family or my family. Like that's Grandma Elizabeth, you know, the Queen. But there's also like the institution, the business side of the royal family. And they're really the ones that call all of the shots. They're the devil. They're disgusting, horrible monsters. And basically, they make all the decisions about who gets security, who doesn't get security, all of that sort of thing. And that comes into play later. But basically, Meghan and Harry started dating. The family itself, I don't know about the family members. They were pretty good about protecting them, which I thought was pretty solid. But they went after the institution. And they tried everything they could to discourage Harry from getting married to her. And then he finally did it. And they treated her like garbage. Part of the things you get when you become a royal is you get their PR team, which goes out and spins stories and helps you and fights the tabloids. Because British tabloids are even worse than the royal family institution. They're lower than trash. The people who decide to become paparazzi journalists are bad people in general. But British ones in particular, horrible garbage. I'm talking to you specifically if you're watching. You're disgusting and you should know about it, you stupid paparazzo. Get a real job. Thank you so much. Says the YouTuber in front of his toy collection. Okay. But these British tabloids kept attacking her, and it was obviously very racially motivated. And they would go after her and write these horrible stories, but the royal family institution never did anything to stop them. One big one she talks about is they say that she was such a bridezilla that she made Kate Middleton cry. Well, apparently that was all wrong. Someone did cry, but it was Kate Middleton who made Meghan Markle cry. It had happened 2 weeks before the tabloids had claimed it did, and by the time it came out, Kate Middleton had already apologized, sent her a letter, and given her flowers and said, I'm sorry. Because basically, they didn't get deep into what it was, but it sounds like it was a disagreement about bridesmaids' dresses or flower girl dresses, and things just got heated. You know, she's getting married to a prince. The paparazzi is everywhere. She's on top of that having to plan her own wedding, which is stressful anyway, and she and her sister-in-law got into an argument. Wow, headline news, everyone. Like, sisters have never fought before in their entire lives. But they made it this huge thing, and then the royal family institution never fixed it. They never put those stories to an end. They didn't give her any protection. And she said, I believed they were protecting me. That's why I didn't fight back. That's why I didn't say anything back then. I thought that they had my best interest in mind. They never did. And then, on top of all of that, the race stuff. So it starts to come out. She gets pregnant with her first baby, Archie. And she's informed that he will not be a prince. The decision was made that he will not get the title of prince, even though he should be getting it. And that he will not be getting a security detail, even though he is entitled to one. He's Prince Harry's son. He's Queen Elizabeth's great-grandson. He's entitled to a security detail, but they said no. And then Meghan talks about how Harry and the royal family institution, racist garbage monsters, had a conversation about how dark Archie's skin would be. They don't like Meghan Markle because she's black. That's what it boils down to. Her mom was black, and they didn't want a black girl in the royal family. And so they decided that he wasn't a real prince. He wasn't going to get his title, and he wasn't going to get security. And she was just like, look, I just need him protected. I don't care. I don't care if he's a prince. I just want the security detail. And Prince Harry even said the same thing. He goes, there was no reason given for taking his security clearance away. There was just no reason to take his security detail away. And then they took away Prince Harry's security detail, and that's when they decided, wow, we really need to get out of here. But the real pin in it, the thing that really stopped him, Meghan talks about how she was suicidal because of everything that was happening, and the press was attacking her. The royal family was just leaving her wide open, even though they'll defend actual disgust. Prince Andrew, we know you're a pedo, all right? We all know you're a pedo, and the royal family keeps that buried deep. But they couldn't protect Meghan Markle from all the racist attacks from the British tabloids, even though the royal family hates the British tabloids too. So it's pretty clear that it was all about race, because these conversations that Harry was having were all, well, how dark is Archie going to be? And if he's too dark, what does that mean? And what are we going to have to do? They won't say who had these conversations, and they won't say, they won't give any details because they don't want to besmirch anybody. But it's pretty disgusting that happened. And I believe that happened. Because if there's one thing I know about England, they are racists. A bunch of racists. And the royal family made their money off of colonizing the rest of the world and taking its resources and enslaving its people. So, it's not a far jump to say that they won't let a black guy be the prince. I think they made that pretty exceptionally clear. So, I don't know, man. I hate to get too involved in the royal family drama. It's not really my favorite thing. But what they did to that poor girl is disgusting. And they should be ashamed of themselves. And when she says that when she was having suicidal thoughts, she's like, I didn't have anywhere to go. You don't have your car or your keys or your driver's license or your passport. You're locked away. They literally Rapunzel people at the palace. She couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't ask for help. And if she had checked herself into a mental hospital, it only would have made things worse. And that's when Prince Harry says, I saw what was happening with my mom happening all over again with my wife, and I knew it was time to get out. And that's when they left. Oh, you gotta watch it. It's incredible. If you could track down even some of the clips, they're all very, 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 very good.